And in case it's your first time to be watching through, my name is Luzze Andrew Anderson. Of course, DTV for the last 15 years, tried to retire, then do my own stuff. But of course, went through politics a little bit. Then after that, we changed. And now for the year 2026, we decided to come up with the new concepts. Yeah. Yes, I wanted to see if my sound is good. So we tried a new concept, and of course this time around the title is just up here, just like how you see it here. Yeah, you will never be happy. Who said so? Well, I'm going to be explaining to you. Most of us really try so much, to be happy, but of course we put timelines on how we will be happy. If I reach this milestone, then I'll be happy. If I reach this milestone, then I'll be happy. But at the end of the day, you will not be happy even when you have achieved and gotten almost everything that you wanted to. So today's topic, this is what we're going to be talking about. We're not going to be here for so long. Still, again, we are going to be here briefly, but of course we'll get our time. Yeah, we'll get our time when we are going to be, of course, the exact time. We'll try to be having maybe 8 or 9. That's when we'll be always here at around either 8 or 9, but we'll get some time during day. We'll get to know what time we're supposed to be here, and even during night we'll get this time, of course, to know when we are going to be here. Reason is only one, because we have different people with different time frames. Yeah, so now this time we are going to change a little bit. So Luzze Andrew Anderson, just in case you've joined, is my name. And of course we started off with politics. I've done TV for 15 years. I did TV for 15 solid years, and in 15 years I only missed 6 months. So after these 15 years, I went and concentrated on politics for 7 years. Of course, I was working mainly with His Excellency Robert Chagulanyi, you can call him Bobby Wine. And I told myself after I disappeared off social media. I was given offers for TVs, that is mainstream media, to go up. But of course, I was like, no, until when 2026, the president, who is supposed to be the president, who is the elect, is in his seat, that's when, I'll also go ahead and do my stuff. So of course, when 2026 came through, things the elected president again is not the one ruling, so things change. So but I had promised myself again 5 years ago that when it is 2026, then I'll concentrate on me, because for 15 years I was concentrating on other people, doing entertainment and news and all that. Then again 7 years, of course, trying to concentrate on politics. Then now 2026, that's when I was like, I'm going to concentrate on me with my friends. So now this is how we are going to start, just like how the topic you saw it up there. Let me put it up. You will never be happy, and you will ask yourself, well, you'll never be happy. Now let me take you through. I'm going to give you what I experienced for over 37 years. What I've experienced is what basically I'm going to be telling you. And of course, if you are bright enough, you'll get something to pick out of this. Now this is how it goes. We work so much hard, and we are like, let me give an example. You start off a family, and you're like, the day I get a family, I will be happy. Then guess what? You get a family, you get married, you get a husband, you get a wife, and now you're like, by that time I'll be happy. And guess what? Immediately when you've created your own family, that's when you notice now kids come through. Yeah, not so long, after honeymoon, and now kids have started coming through. And when kids come through, now you're like, Archer. So now I have to concentrate on my husband. I have to concentrate on the husband has to concentrate on his job. And now they are working hard, for these kids to grow up, finish education. And now they think by that time they will be happy. And now they work so hard, the wife is supposed to take care of the family. The husband is trying to work so hard, to cater for his family. And they think when these kids are now out, they finish university, that's the time they're going to be happy. And now they try their level best to do that. And when all that is done, now they are like, by the way, they again think back, and they're like, even when these kids are done, I think we have to get a good retirement. Again, now they work so hard. Before you know it, taking those vacations, having that nice time with your kids, you forget all of it, because you've always thought, when I do this, I will be happy. Most of the people are like, let me work so hard, let me make some money. If I make some money, buy some land, build a house, start up a family, then I'll be happy. And guess what? They work so hard, get that land, build that house, and then they feel like something is missing because they've gotten to get a car. Now they think of their retirement home. Then they're like, if I do that, I'll be happy. So we always extend our happiness depending on maybe what the society thinks that, if I do this, I'll be happy. But most of the times you do it, and you're not happy. You find people like, if I get my first job and I get my first payment, my first salary, I'll be happy. And guess what? When the first salary comes and they thought they will be happy, they feel like, no, I think I need more salary. I think I need more increment in my salary. Again, they are not happy. You find someone is like, when I buy my first car, I'll be happy. And they buy that first car, and again, they are not happy. So at the end of the day, we keep postponing our happiness. And they are also other people who have just a little in life. Yeah, they have a little, they don't have much. They live off, like those earth houses. Earth houses, those are the houses they build in soil, in mud. Yeah, they have their mud houses. They live in simple homesteads, like, let me say, the Karamojong, they live in small homesteads, those small hut thatched huts. They have 2 cows or 3 cows. They go fetch water like a kilometer away, but at the end of the day, they are happy. And again, you find someone who has almost much of everything. They have buildings in town, they have cars, they have, you think they would be happy, but at the end of the day, they are not happy. Then it goes down to what I would call our mindset. What you put in your mind, and like, in case I achieve this, then I will be happy. But the more you get, the more again you still feel hungry for more, and again you're not happy. Me, I once told my friends, and I'm going to tell you this. I told one of my friends, and I'm like, if I died right now, I would have died a happy person. Someone was like, impossible. I'm like, being happy, you're not supposed to achieve, like everything. You're not supposed to achieve everything in life, to be happy. Happiness is just created. That is the word. Happiness is just created. You just have to make a decision, and like, you know what? With the small I have, with the small I've attained, I am going to decide to be happy. I've found, I've over the years, I've been with friends, who don't have so much, but they are happy with their life. And because they are relaxed and they're not so, up to, you find people who are always up to something, they are up to something. They are not satisfied with what they are having, just like how it is happening in the country where I come from. Like someone, they've gotten all the buildings, they've owned the land, they've owned almost the whole country, but they still feel they are not happy. They feel like they still want to get more. And the more you want to get at the end of the day, it is the more that you also end up being unhappy. Because look at it this way. We are in a system, or we are in a government, whereby the more you own, the more the government owns you. The more you own, the more the government owns you. The more poor you are, the more you are detached away from the system and the government. Let's look at it this way. You're there now, you have a car. Let me say them now. Let me just bring out this, because now we want to come at the point where we are like, we just have to create our own happiness. If we do not create it, you will not be happy. Me, as I told you initially, that even if I died right now, I told my friend, even if I died right now, I would have died a happy person. And he's like, why? Of course, I'm a single dad and I live with my kid. But I wanted to have a kid. I got a kid. I wanted, the small things in life that could make me happy. And I got satisfied, given the fact that I would love more. But even if I died now, I think I would die a happy person. Most of the people, even the Christians, they're like, I want to go to heaven, but at the end of the day, don't want to die, because they feel like they want to achieve more. So now, this is the thing. As I was telling you initially, that the more you own this, the more the system owns you. The more you own, the more the system owns you. And the more the system owns you, the more you become dependent on it, given the fact that you own more. So let's look at it this way. You have a car, you have a car. Now that's a system. You have to go by their prices, how the economy goes. If the prices of fuel go high, then you're supposed to pay more. Now we have another guy who doesn't own one. So now you have to pay more of of fuel for your car, for gas for your car. Away from that, now you have a house, of which here in Africa you can own, and you own permanently. But again, you're here, but again you're supposed to take, there's what they call renovation, and then there are bills, electricity bills, water bills, and all these other bills you're supposed to be paying. Now, that is not the government owning you. So at the end of the day, you're going to live off their mercy. So they wake up early in the morning and you're like, you know what, now we got some new taxes called influence. I don't know what even that is. And then you're supposed to incur also those. But again, someone who doesn't even own much, they are not, basically they are not even in the system. When they want to eat food, they will go, they will do labor, and then they will be paid in wages. And guess what happens? They pay them cash. Then they will go, buy, whether they want to buy mangoes, they want to buy food, then they are going to use. Basically, the system doesn't run them. They do what they want whenever they want to do it. But because you're under a system and you own more, the more you own, the more the system also controls you. And the more the system controls you, the more you're living off their mercy. I think you're getting it wrong. So this thing that comes out and you're like, if I do this, I'll be happy. You go, you go abroad, and now you've gone for greener pastures and you're like, in case I build my mom a house, then I'll be happy. Then you build your mom a house because you think building your mom a house will make you happy. And before you know it, the house is done, the mom is very sick, and you're like, okay, now let me take care of my mom. Let me send more money. It's called black money. Let me send more money in Africa so that my mom, when he's okay, then I'll be happy. Before you know it, then your mom is dead. Remember, now you've worked for over 6-7 years. You're looking for that moment when you're going to be happy, and you're like, no. Okay, now let me build my house, start up a business, then I come back to Africa or where I'm supposed to go back, my homeland, and then I'll be happy. And guess what? You look for that business, you build that house, you come back, and immediately when you come back, you notice that now I cannot be this happy if I'm not married. So at the end of the day, there is a reason, there is something always that pushes you to be happy, And the more you chase it, the more it goes a little further. Those are the people, you come into life, you have a family, but you have little time with them because you think you're chasing for happiness. You think the more money you will make, it will make you happy. But the more, you chase for it, remember, time is limited. So you spend, all these years going to school because you think after getting school you'll be happy, but again you're not happy. Then you think when you get a job and you get your first salary you'll be happy, but again you're not happy. Then you think when you get a family you'll be happy, but again you're not happy. Then you think when you get these kids, at the end of the day you reach at your death point and still you've died unhappy, and you've spent all this time unhappy. Now this is the thing, and this is what you're supposed to do. The simple achievements, you decide. Happiness is just a choice. You decide to be happy. You just decide. I decide to be happy. And I'm like, I'm happy. When I made the choice to be living with my son, I thought, that would be making me happy. I feel proud each time I see him and he's playing, and I know it is me and him. I'm already happy. I don't need more. I don't need to achieve again more to be super, super happy, because the happiness is justified by an individual and not the society. Because most of the time we end up, justifying our happiness according to the society. That's what I was talking about yesterday night. They put a yardstick in society that when you do this, then you're successful and you're happy. But at the end of the day, what some people take to be as being happy or as being successful, it is different to another person. And then you'll ask yourself how. Because now we've grown up. Yesterday I gave an example and I will stick on it even today. The society has come up to tell us that, in case you get kids, in case you get married, I don't know where this thing came from. I've kept saying it when we started this life, that when you're in your 30s, if you're a lady and you're 25 and you've not yet got married, then you're not going to be happy, and then you're not going to be successful. If you're a man and you're 30 and you don't own land and you don't have a business and you don't own a house, then you're going to be unsuccessful. Who said so? So at the end of the day, we start measuring happiness according to the society, and we forget that there are people who have just a little but they are still happy. Happiness is just created, and guess what? People who are happy, they tend to live a little longer. That's why you find people who own too much, and then the guy comes, and it is news, and because he had a container and was importing in cars, was importing in those electronics, and now the ship sank or something happened, and the guy just collapses, dies off immediately. And then you find another guy, they survive, they just have a simple garden, they just do simple, labor, and they are paid wages, but they live as life goes on, and they tend to even live longer. They don't have pressure. But nowadays, we live in the society, we live in community, we live in the world whereby we live for today, and we live on tension, we have anxiety, people committing suicide because of what they think they have to own at a given age or at a given time. And yet, if we let go, and you're like, let me tell you something. If you believe that there is a creator, if you believe there is a creator and he created you and you're supposed to pass through life, let me tell you, the truth is he will take care of you. How it happens, you don't know. You imagine, you could think it's been your brightness and being your hard work that you've survived this long. But if you think about it carefully, you survive like you don't know even how you survive. Things just happen. So at the end of the day, this happiness, because most of the people right now are dying before their due time because of the pressure that they put on themselves, because they think the society say if you don't do this then you will not be happy. For some reasons, I thought, you find someone and they're like, if I get this, I'll be happy. But at the end of the day, they get it all, they get it all, but they are not happy. And you ask yourself why. I look at our leaders, and they've achieved so much, but they're still not satisfied. And they feel like they have to get more. And you're like, what's wrong with these people? Achieve it all and you still want more. And what makes it absurd that they even go ahead for those who own their little, those who own their little, they feel like they want to take it. I've always kept telling my friends, you find someone owning over 100 acres of land, one individual, or one family, it doesn't matter, one family owning over 10, 20 acres of land, and then they have that simple old lady, a widow, and then they feel like they also want to take that, We live in the society where people are just unhappy. He has acres and acres of land, and I call that being bad mannered. That's being indisciplined. That's being indisciplined. If you can get satisfied with the little you have, you even live a little longer. But if you keep pushing your happiness, like if I get this, I'll be happy. And guess what? Where did this all begin from? Creating happiness, and it's having a yardstick. Of course, we are born, I think, in an autopilot kind of lifestyle. Autopilot, you know how it works? It's like having an automatic car, as long as you put in the keys and then you start the car, then you drive. So your own part to play is, be putting on that pressure and then just keep turning. So everything else happens on its own. So we are born in the society where we are in autopilot. That we grow up, when we are born as kids, they tell us, in case you go to school and then you're number one in class, you'll be happy. Then we are in autopilot. The things that they put there for us to do, that when we do them, that's what is going to make us happy. So the kid is born, is moving in autopilot. You're supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do this, you're supposed to do. So basically, you're not doing things that you love, but you're doing things that the society put up to make you happy. Really. People are saying that you're supposed to get married to be happy, but someone else's happiness is not being married. Like me, I don't want to get married. I don't think at any one moment I will get married. Why? Because that's what I want, my freedom to do what I want. I don't feel like I want to share my bed, like I'm turning and then there is some other human being who grew up from nowhere is now touching me, baby sweetie, who is asking questions, why are you not doing this and why are you not doing. So my happiness is not going to be dependent on the community or the society or what they put up as a yardstick, that when I do that, then I'm going to be happy. So we grew up in an autopilot kind of lifestyle that we are in autopilot. Like now you're supposed to go to school, after reaching school, and then you graduate, and then they bring that big cap they put on your head, and then you smile for the pictures, and then you give speeches, and then you're crying because society put it up that when you graduate now you're going to be happy, not realizing that you're doing that because it is the happiness that the society brought up in life to make you feel like when you do that you're going to be happy, but when really to you as an individual that is not going to be making you happy. I hope you're getting my point. So now we live in an autopilot kind of environment and society and in this world. So now, because we live in an autopilot, we basically do things that we don't know why we are doing them, but the society put them up that when we do those things then we are going to be happy, but genuinely to us as individuals we are not happy. Because someone will be like, if you graduate then you're going to be happy, but again you graduate and it is not bringing the satisfaction that you really felt like. Because now when you go in the real world, now because the real world has put up how to be happy, you're supposed to look for a job. And now because we are in autopilot, they tell us that look for a job, and then you look for a job for 5 years because autopilot say that now when after graduation you're supposed to get a job as a guy or as a girl, and when you get a job, now that's when you're supposed to be happy. You pass through life trying to go with the happiness they put up that you're supposed to be happy, but when it doesn't even apply to you as an individual. So now you see you're not happy. Why? Because you're following the happiness that they put up that doesn't even work on you. And now they tell this girl, now you're supposed to be happy, to be to be successful. Now since you finished university, I'm supposed to get married, and now you move on pressure because family, and in this marriage they're not even going to be there because now that's what they put up as a yardstick, that now when you get married, now that's when you're supposed to be happy. But when in reality you as an individual, that doesn't apply to you. So your happiness is not doing that. So the more we detach from the happiness that they put up and in society that we are supposed to follow, and because it is so doctrinated, just like how I said yesterday, that now everyone looks at you and like, wow, how could you dare to? If you don't do that now, you're not going to be happy. That is their happiness. Someone else's happiness is another one's story, is another one's sad story, yeah? You come up and you're like, what? I finished school, now I'm employed, and someone else is like, wow, I cannot be employed. I want to be self-employed. I just want to do my stuff. And for them, that's their happiness, and the other one is your happiness. But at the end of the day, if we try so much not to mix the two, the society's what is meant to be happy, because you can find someone, because the society has put it up that driving a Range Rover or owning a car is a happiness. But someone else is like, no, if I don't own a car and I own a farm, that is my happiness. So you have to differentiate, because at the end of the day, sometimes there are people who lie and they end up lying themselves, and they don't know that they are lying to themselves, and they end up believing the lie that they lie to themselves. Reality, basically you're not doing okay, you're not fine, you really don't need a car, but because you have to impress the society who do not give a shit, now because the society says if you own a car then you're supposed to be happy, and now you buy a car but generally you're not supposed to be happy. So it is always very important you first have a personal individual realization, and you're like, what is it that makes me happy? When I realized that, and I was like, what would make me happy is me being with my son, and it's just the two of us. I do what I want when I want to do it, I say what I want when I want to say it. That will be making me happy. So what other individuals think of me, because now I've grown up and time is so short, we are not living forever, and the people who brought up this happiness, we end up all lying ourselves, yeah? It is really so bad, yeah? So that autopilot kind of a thing, and we forget that time is even running out. Time we spend with our family, because we think if we make more money, it's going to make us more happy. So as a father, now you spend less time with your family. As relatives, brothers and sisters, you keep fighting each other of things that we don't even understand, because ego is now up to us. So we pass through, because let me tell you, the whole entire thing of us being on earth is basically to create and be happy. Yeah, to create and be happy. Be happy. But now we involve a lot of things, we attach happiness to a lot of things. You cannot talk to your neighbor, you cannot talk to your mother, you cannot talk to your siblings, sisters and brothers, because you're having those small issues, and you forget life is short. Me, I always remind myself, life is short. Life is short and no one is waiting for you. Before you know it, you've clocked 45. And then before you know it, you're sick, and now you're going. And then you remember, you're like, I wish I did this. I wish I did this. I wish I had this good relationship with the people around me. I wish I had done this. I wish I had gone for that vacation. I wish I had, and you wish all these things you could have done, but because you were chasing money, and you think money is basically the end result of being happy, and it's not like that. There are very many we've seen, and it's not all about the money. It's about the relationship we get with the people close to us. I've been with my son, and each time I've been with him since he was 1, now he's going to make 4, and each time I see him, and I'm like, yes, I've grown up with him, trying to put whatever things I want, I would have learned. I feel like I want him to grow. I want him to grow up to learn them. I teach him, because I'm not now manipulated with the happiness and the system that the globe puts up. Yeah, because you find most of the time the people having little, owning a little, and they are happy. So it's very important. Use your time carefully. You just imagine if they told you you're having 10 years to survive, what is it that you would do with your life? I'm telling you, you wouldn't have gone for that degree. There are some things you would just let go. You wouldn't have time, to feel bad, to feel angry about some people, because you're like, I have to use my time importantly. So because we forget that we have a little bit of time, so we think we are immortal and life is eternal, so we use it poorly, because we think we have time, and there is no time, my brother. I'm telling you, no time. It is all about creating memories, because you imagine you've bought all these cars, you built all those houses, you owned all those businesses. When you die, your kids are not going to remember that you owned this and this and this. They're going to remember the good times, the memories you keep, the stories you say. That's when you grow up and you've retired and you're seated at your place like this, and you're seeing your grandkids around, and then you start saying stories. See, when we were young, that's all you have now. You're not going to remember the hard work, the struggle you went through. It is now going to be the memories, the things you did, the things that made you happy, and that's what moves on and on and on and on. But not basically how much you earned and how much you really. Life is short, man. Me, I've learned that. So that's why now I don't have time to feel angry about some people. Like, this guy did to me this, then I'm so angry, I don't want to see him. No, I don't have that time. You use a lot of energy when you use a lot of energy when you're angry about other people. Use a lot of energy. Things are not supposed to be working out like that. You're supposed to be happy. Have memories. Do things that you feel like you want to do. You want to eat something, eat it. Yeah, do it. As long as whatever you do, you're ready for the repercussions or the results. Whatever comes are the consequences, you're supposed to also enjoy them. But it's very important to have memories. If I died today, I would die a happy person. I tell that to people and they're like, impossible. Because they feel you have to achieve so much to be. They feel like you have to achieve so much. You have to be like a Sudiru. Tyler, don't make noise, yeah? So they feel like you have to be like a Sudiru. Tyler, don't make noise. So at the end of the day, they feel like you have to be like the Sudiru, the Wavamonos, to be that happy. No. It is the relationship you have with people, the memories you have with people. And you just create it. I had a friend of mine, man. The other guy was always happy. Anything bad happens to him, the guy is happy. Because at the end of the day, even if you're not happy, your being unhappy changes totally nothing. You're being unhappy about something and angry about something. If you think about it very carefully, you basically change nothing about it. Yeah, so but being happy keeps you healthy and makes you even live longer. So when you want to create that time and you're like, when this time, when I do this happens, you think about it when you thought of buying those shoes, when you thought of buying those clothes, when you thought of buying that car, when you thought of traveling the first time, and you're like, if I travel to the US, then I'll be having the American dream and I'll be happy. And you reach there and things were different, and you're like, this, I thought when I do this I would be happy. Now you remember again, take a flashback, the time you spent chasing and thinking that when I get to America, when I get to the US, then I'll be happy. But it happened, and then the happiness was not there. So look at the time you wasted when you're not happy. What if? Because me, there's something I learned and I felt good about it. They were like, if you want to achieve something in life, yeah, the happiness comes not at the end result. Let me say you want to get, let me say that degree, yeah, let me start with that degree or that diploma, and you feel like you want to get it. Most of the time, if we think our happiness is going to be at the end when we graduate and then we put on that so-called hat, the happiness is in the process. It is in the process, because if you don't enjoy the process, even the end result, it will come and you'll be like, but now, okay, I thought if I go to school and now I graduate, then I'll be happy, but now I see like it's nonsense. But now remember the process. The process, the friends you created, the friends you created, the days you moved, when you're not, when it was raining and you had to pass through rain to reach the university, you remember the preps you did with your friends. You remember, how you sneaked out, to go eat food when you were angry. Now, you see the entire process, and that makes us who we become. You get the point? So, creating, if you think you will do something and it will make you happy, I'm giving you bad news. You've seen people do weddings that cost $1 billion, and all the so-called elites, the VIP of the society, the important people of the society come through, and you feel like, when I do that wedding, we are going to be happy when we are together. And just a couple of months, not even years, and these people are splitting. And when the society was looking at that as being happy, the individuals weren't even happy. So are you doing the happiness for the people, or you're doing the happiness for you? You're supposed to do the happiness for you, because it's you. I've always kept telling you, like, everyone will go. The only person who will remain? It will be you. You is the only one who will remain. You get the point? So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Some stranger comes out and is like, he's staying in such kind of a house. I cannot stay in such kind of a house. But it is their life. That's what makes them happy. The guy came here, he was having a kachukumi. So what? As long as they are happy, their happiness is not justified with the kind of happiness that you think when people do that. And that has really destroyed us, because we are doing things that society thinks that when we do them, then that's when we are supposed to be happy, which is wrong. Happiness is in the video. It is personal. It is personal. So it is very important we don't mix these two. It is very, very important we do not mix these two. As I told you, yeah, we are always going to be doing these lives, yeah. Each time we're going to be coming through. During the day we'll be coming through. The late at night we'll also be coming through. We have these conversations. We'll keep them coming. We'll be sharing with different friends. But of course, some people will come and also tell us their stories. So me, I've learned something. My happiness is basically doing things that I enjoy. Yeah, I do things that make me happy. Me and my son, as long as we're good. Whatever someone else thinks of what you should do, whoever thinks he would have done this in this way, he would have done this way, she would have done this that way. At the end of the day, it is them justifying their happiness, And if we don't mix that, because people work so hard to create the happiness that society has created to justify that when you do that, then you're going to be happy. But at the end of the day, they are not happy as individuals. I've always kept telling people, me, I don't feel like I want to travel abroad to go work. Tyler, you leave the door and the key. I've always kept telling people, me, I don't want to go abroad. I don't want to go abroad. To go work, I don't, Tyler, leave it. I don't want to go abroad work. I don't want to go abroad work. I don't want to go. Why? Because I feel I'm not that hard, much strong guy who can work and bring out results. So, and then someone is like, no. Everyone will want to go to America, live the American dream. But someone has told you they don't want to go. They don't want to go. And now you're justifying their happiness like they have to go. But someone has told you they don't want to go. Like one day I was with my sisters, and one of my sisters was saying that I'm supposed to get married. And they're like, they should get me a girlfriend. And I'm like, I don't want. And it's like, no, you see, at your age, at this age, when you're 30, then that's the time you're supposed to get married. Even if you're working and you have plans. No. That cannot happen. And someone is angry because they feel being happy, being successful, you have to get married. But me, I'm telling them, I don't want. What makes me happy is when I'm alone. My being alone is what creates happiness to me. So there is no way you're going to stick your analogy of being happy to me that I support, because at the end of the day, that's when we go wrong. At the end of the day, someone enters something they really don't like. They do things they don't like because they feel society has to look at them, because that's what they take to be happiness, and then they are not happy, and you die unsatisfied. You've lived a life that is really. That's why I told my friends, even if I die right now, I'll die a happy person. Why? Because I've done things that I really love, and I've learned some things that I feel really, wow, these were good things that I've learned about life. So by the time I went off grid, because now you see, now when we changed our channel, PCM, from being politics to what we are doing now, lifestyle, human interest stories, some people were like, how dare you? You see, the other would do better. You see, even if it's making money, here this business makes more money. I'm like, this was not a business for a start. This was a channel to share stories. This was a channel to make people happy, to make people smile. Its initial reason for creation, it was not money. No. It was not money. So that's where people go wrong, and then they judge you. And at the end of the day, 100 years, 10 years, 50 years from then, no one will give a damn about them. It will be you and how you lived your life. You imagine you force someone, to get into marriage, like a young girl they've just made 20, and you force them to get married. They go to that marriage that they really don't like, they spend their 15, 20 years in that marriage that they really didn't want. They just wanted to travel, have fun, and then they reach their death point, and then they die and they are miserable. And for you, you think that was creating happiness for them, and that was success. Who dares? I'll keep saying the society and what they say doesn't matter. It's your life, man. It's your life. Do things that make you happy, because life is so short, man. Life is so short to be angry to other people. Life is so short, to keep silent and to feel bitter about other people. Life is so short, You're not going to live 100 years. So this small time that we are having, we're supposed to use it really carefully, so that by the time I tell people, and I still say it now, if I died today at the age of 37, I would have died a happy person. But now there is an old man who is in his 90s. He feels like he's not satisfied, even when he has everything. Like, what the hell? In Jesus' name. You get my point? So happiness is just created. It's not the things, because each time you say, when I get this, I'll be happy, you reach there and you'll notice, oh my goodness, I thought otherwise. You see, when I get this, it is the process, the process towards getting whatever. So you create those memories, the relationship. That's why I always take long to feel, bitter and keep anger about someone. Why? Because at the end of the day, what is the benefit? What is the benefit of feeling bitter and, feeling bad about it? It's only hurting you and, decreasing your lifespan, because the more angry you become, even your system doesn't work well. As human beings, we were created not to be on medication. Most of this scientific medication and the tabs and all that, we were created that our body could build itself, it could auto-generate itself. But now, because of what the environment and the environment we are in, the society, then people are getting sick, they are getting heart diseases, things which were not supposed to be there because of what we think and what people are supposed to think of us. Create your own happiness. If you think one day you will get something and that will make you happy, I swear it's not going to happen. If you think going abroad will make you happy, I've seen 1,000 people who have traveled and they thought when they leave and they go to America, in London, in UK, in Birmingham, they will be happy, and they came back and they are like, I could not make that decision again. I've seen them. I've seen some who are like, if I get into this marriage, then I'll be happy, and they've come out not even spending a year and they're not happy. So just enjoy each process that comes through in your life. Just enjoy the process. So the results, whether they are good or bad, enjoy the process, but don't put it as a yardstick that when I reach there, that's the time I will be happy. Yeah, don't do that, because you will not be happy, man. They are the small things, that make you happy. Me being with my son, he's here, he's been playing out, but each time I see him and it's just the two of us, someone else will be like, no, it's supposed to be you, the mother, and the son, the mother, and the father, and that's now the justifiable happiness. My happiness is being me alone with my son. That is my happiness. It's not with anyone else. And if someone's justification of getting married is happiness, then it's not someone else's happiness. So if you don't mix those two, as I told you initially, don't let the happiness yardstick of the environment and the society we come from and what they doctrinated in us justify your happiness. Let your happiness be individual. You could find someone, if they eat posho and beans, is their happiness, and then because society got it different, that if you eat beans and posho you're unhappy. Who said that? So me, I don't mind. I lived with a friend who thought like eating small fish is poverty, and I was like, who told you that? Because now you think instead of working on your health and you be healthy, now you have to take chips and chicken with deep fried with a lot of cooking oil, and then you get sick because you think of what the society would think. They think that in case you take chips and chicken, then that means you're happy, but deep inside you, you're dying, you have diseases. I would rather, let these things be in the video. And by the time you grow up, then you will realize that, oh wow, we were doing these things wrong. That's why these people who have grown up, they see kids do things and they look like this. I'm at that stage when I just look at people and they are making justifications. But if we don't learn that happiness is something we create, you can find someone, rent is demanding, water bills are demanding, electric bills are demanding, internet bills are demanding, but they're there, they are chilling and they are happy, and they're like, man, what may, whether they, whatever happens. And for some reason, they go through life, and then you find others, they can do anything. Let's not be, be engulfed into thinking so narrowly. Yeah, right now when it comes to the youth, because of social media, all of them are doing things to impress the society even when themselves are not happy. I will not do that. So someone will be like, he put up such kind of a video. How could you put up such kind of a video? That's what they felt like doing, and they are happy. They are happy. At the end of the day, when they die, they'll be like, man, I enjoyed it. I kept telling my friends, like, I had a friend who died of HIV, and I kept telling my friend, they were on the islands there. This girl had fun, She left town when she had done every small leg of every man in Kampala, went to the islands, reached there, she was the cutest, did every small leg of the man that side, every small leg. And then when she called and we were supposed to be going to see her in the hospital, and then she was brought back to Mulago, and she was in Mulago and she was sick before they could take her, to Melbourne. And then she was like, you know what, man, I caught HIV, but man, I enjoyed life. I slept, and he mentioned thousands and thousands of men's baby legs she had, played with. And she was like, you know what? I know I'm going to die, but at least I'm going to die a happy person. I enjoyed my life. And I was like, bro, sis, peace, yeah. Because by the time she's going to die now, she's died happy because of, that's what she wanted to do with her life. So let's not justify the happiness. I remember, I cannot forget, I talked to the son to Sudil Paleria, the son who died, in a motor car accident. One day I was with him and I'm like, man, but you drive so speed, and you have all these investments. You imagine one day you wake up, you're speeding and then you're getting an accident. He was like, life is all about, risk. So even if, it happens, it happens. Why? Because life is a risk. I'll die a happy person. When he died, I was like, yeah, the guy died happy. He was speeding. And then he died, So he died a happy person. At the end of the day, we live billion years, like one of these leaders who don't want to die and then they say one more. Yeah, you get the point. So, man, I told you, let me put out that title for the people who didn't get it. Yes, you will never be happy. If you think when you do something, it will make you happy, you think when getting kids will make you happy, then that's when you notice that when you get kids, they are 24 hours surveillance that you're supposed to take care of, and they don't bring results. Nothing. It's not like they make profits here. Nothing. They are just there to distract you day in, day out. But it is the process, growing with them, being with them, the fun you have with them that, helps you and you feel good about it, So it is the process. Yeah? Yeah, this was your torch, but now you've spoiled it.
Because I want big.
The big torch. Yeah, okay, now you go, let me finish here, yeah? So at the end of the day, as I'm winding up, create your own happiness. Create your own happiness. If you think you're going to do something to make you happy, that is not going to work. You think getting into family is going to make you happy? I've seen some of them do billion weddings and then in less than a year they have separated. I've seen those who think, finishing university will make them happy and then they look for a job for 10 years and they're unhappy. I've seen those who think when they get that job they'll be happy, and because of the job that they got they end up bewitching themselves and killing themselves and they're not happy. So at the end of the day, it's the process you go through to achieve everything everything you want to get that will make you happy. It is the process you go through. You're like, man, I separated with the mother of my kid, but now I remember when she had just come, the process, and I remember the time when my kid was coming out of the mom's belly and I looked at it. It is the process, because if I think the end result will be the one making me happy, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I still remain Luzze Andrew Anderson, just like how I told you. We come in the morning, we come in the evening, we just chat, we talk. Me, I came off great. I've learned lots of things about life. Yeah, I've learned a lot of things about life. As I told you, 15 years on TV. Yeah, I've learned a lot of. I thought I had friends. Yeah, I thought I had friends when money was flowing in. You're chilling out, they are calling you on parties, every entry is free, you go to a bar, you just enter, you reach a place, then drinks are just coming, and you have friends everywhere, left, right, and center. But when things go west, they all disappear. So now that I've grown and I'm 37, that's when I was like, wow. So something was wrong here. So that's when things change now. We get friends who need nothing from us, and those ones really last longer. The ones that I grew up, and I thought we grew up with that one since we were in primary. When we grew up and we parted, of course, everyone changed. I'm not the person that I was when I was, 20 years or 25 or 30 years. Now things change. What I look up to now, things are not the same. Yeah, that's why with this channel, BCM, last year 2025 it was different. 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020 it was different. We were doing something different. No, you comb your hair. So things were different. So 2026, I said they're supposed to be different. They're supposed to be different. If some people have to leave, people have to leave. Now I have a new road. Yeah, and that is going to create my happiness, and it is the process in creating something that is making me happy. Yeah, it is the purpose, it is the memories that I'm going to build, it is the people that I've started with. that the end result will be fun, and then we talk about it and we are like, remember, when we were starting, everyone, those are the memories you get. It's not the end result that will make you happy. You see this award, I got this award, this is a YouTube award, but it's not the award that made me happy. It is the process, we went through opening up the channel, the person who told me you should support monetize. It is the process, that makes us happy, but not the end result. So now we've changed everything. Everyone would think, this would have done better, this would have done better. Yeah, true, that is according to you. But now me, I love starting something new. I like, I want to be on pressure. I want something to scare me. Have you seen people who want to be scared and then maybe they do bungee jumping? I cannot do bungee jumping. It scares. Those things, you go up there and then they put ropes in your waist and then they throw you. I cannot do that. But now I like something to scare me. Yeah, like right now I'm unemployed. I stay with my son. I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow, but I have to figure it out anyway. It scares a lot, but that's what I love. That's what I love. I want to be under that pressure and you're like, what next? What is it that I can do? So when things work out, I'll be like, oh man, yeah, that was scary. But again, we went through it. Yeah, you get the point. That is it. So for now, I'm going to be calling it a wrap. Of course, it's Luzze Andrew Anderson. Super excited, of course, having been here. I'm going to be here day in, day out. We'll be talking about different things, yeah? So until when we catch up, I still remain your boy, Luzze Andrew Anderson. Off grid, of course, with my son, Tyler. So until when we catch up in the evening, you never know, we could do a video, then we upload it. Until then, I want to say bless.